What up, what up, everybody? Alright, y'all, so we back for another one. It is hot today, man. It's almost 100 degrees outside, and it feels like it too. Alright, so a lot of things going on right now, man. A lot of people ducking. A lot of people hiding. I think I'm gonna name this video Spence and Crawford have a fear of Pacquiao, or a fear of losing to Pacquiao. And I based that off of really one thing. I think these two guys, I think they saw what happened to Keith Thurman, basically. And we know we haven't seen Keith Thurman in almost 2.5 years now in a boxing ring, since he last fought Pacquiao. So I think after seeing the Keith Thurman situation, they're maybe not even just them, but their teams are rethinking the whole Pacquiao situation. They were trying to build their legacies off Pacquiao, and Pacquiao's trying to end his legacy off them. And I think that because they're on the uprise, Pacquiao's on his way out, they're kind of putting the brakes to the talks because they want to see, they want like a preview of what Pacquiao has left. Now, based off that Keith Thurman fight, because that was the last time we saw Pacquiao in the ring, I really don't think either one of those guys wanted with Pacquiao. But it has been 2 years. And I think Errol Spence was eager to fight Pacquiao up until it got leaked that he KO'd his sparring partner. I think up until that moment, all ships will go. I'm not gonna sit here and degrade Errol Spence and call him a liar and say he's not really hurt, because when Pacquiao was hurt, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Although it's two different situations, because Pacquiao fought hurt, Errol Spence backed out of the fight. Pacquiao could have very easily just backed out of the fight. Hey, even though there's a lot more money on the line, and this is why I feel like it's hypocritical, because Pacquiao was almost forced into fighting Mayweather. In my mind, I feel like he was forced into continuing that fight when he really didn't have to continue that fight. He could have actually backed out, but because there was so much money on the line, I think that all parties involved forced Pacquiao to move forward. He couldn't get his cortisone shot. Mayweather got a cortisone shot. Mayweather got to use an IV that has been determined that it was illegal. Uh, Everybody got paid. Bob Arum didn't advocate for Pacquiao after the fight as hard as he normally does, and it was a lot of red flags that there was something else going on behind the scenes. I think because of the amount of money, Pacquiao was forced to continue with that fight, to where the pool of money is not as large in this Errol Spence Pacquiao fight. So, there's no incentive for Errol Spence to fight hurt, if you know what I mean. Pacquiao kind of had an incentive to fight hurt, and everybody involved with Team Pacquiao had an incentive for him to fight hurt. And a lot of people still feel like he won that fight. A lot of people think he lost that fight. I personally think he won, but and I think that's why Bob Arum didn't advocate for Pacquiao. I think Bob Arum knew Pacquiao was ready to walk away. I think Bob Arum was trying to cash out of the Pacquiao game, and he got what he wanted out of Pacquiao. Now, I brought up in the last video about his Pacquiao's tax situation. I don't know, and the fact that Bob Arum's so tied in with the government and the mafia, I don't know who exactly took care of Pacquiao's tax situation, but I'm 100% sure it was Bob Arum. And I think the outcome of that Floyd Mayweather fight had a lot to do with the money, and the fact that he had to fight hurt, it had to do with the money. Now, I'm saying both guys. And I know people are saying, well, how you going to throw Crawford in there? Well, they offered Crawford $10 million. Pacquiao was supposed to get 40. Crawford was supposed to get 10. It's double the amount of money. It's double plus like one of the amount of money he's ever made in his career. He turned it down. So there has to be a reason he turned it down. Maybe he personally didn't turn it down, but Bob Arum probably turned it down because Bob Arum knows Pacquiao has Crawford's number. And Bob Arum's not going to risk losing his new cash cow to his old cash cow, and then his old cash cow gets to walk off into the sunset with all this money. And Bob Arum feels like, I guess, Pacquiao still owes him money because of the Floyd Mayweather situation. I don't know why, but I think there's, in Bob Arum's mind, Pacquiao still owes him money. So, I would say both guys fear Pacquiao for that one reason. It's fear of a loss. It's fear of getting done like Keith Thurman. It's fear that it's going to impact their career in a way that they can't recover from, and similar to Keith Thurman. I'm not saying Thurman won't fight again, but Thurman will never be the Thurman he was before he faced Pacquiao. And he's not the only one. It happened to Jesse Vargas. He wasn't the same fighter after Pacquiao. It happened to Lucas Matisse, retired after Pacquiao. Brandon Rios, I think he fought one more time or two more times and then retired after Pacquiao. They weren't the same fighters after they faced up with Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather wasn't the same fighter after he fought Pacquiao. He refuses to give the man a rematch. Juan Marquez beat Pacquiao and bragged about it, but refuses to give him a rematch. So all these people are impacted by Pacquiao's talent and his skill set and the fact that they fought him. And I think those two guys fear Pacquiao because of the fear of losing. Because this generation builds themselves off of the O. They're the old generation. I can never lose. I'm like Mayweather. Real champs never lose. But everybody who's in the history books, except for Mayweather, every great champion in the history books, up and down, because Mayweather's not in the history books yet. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet. But everybody in the Hall of Fame, with the exception of maybe one or two guys, has a loss. And we're talking about great names, the Tysons, the Alis, the Lennoxes, the Holyfields, the Foremans, you can go on and on and on. So I don't understand this generation. Even the Michael Jordans of the world have lost. LeBron's lost. He's the greatest basketball player in some people's mind of today, and he lost. Kobe lost. Tiger Woods lost. We can go on and on. All the greatest people, all the greatest sports figures in the world have lost. And this generation is going to be the lost generation of boxing because they don't want to lose. They don't want to risk anything. And without risk, there's no reward without risk. Michael Jordan is great because he risked going up against the Detroit Pistons when they were considered to be the best team in basketball. Kobe Bryant, I'm not going to talk about Kobe because I feel a certain way about Kobe's success. And I think, I put it this way, I'm not going to speak on it. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave Kobe out of it. But all the greatest champions have lost at some point in their career. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, all the great champions. So this generation is going to be the lost generation of boxing because they refuse to take a loss. They refuse to risk that O. And like I said, there is no reward without taking a risk. You get no rewards from not taking a risk. You can't sit around and say, hey, I'm the best, but I haven't fought anybody. I just happen to have gotten titles in backhanded ways. Definitely that can be said. Now, I would say Errol Spence earned his titles because who he fought to give them. Now, his resume still doesn't match up with Pacquiao's at all, in no way. But Terence Crawford was given a gimme in a way. He got his belt from Jeff Horn, who cheated Pacquiao. Now, if they never cheated Pacquiao, Terence Crawford would not be a world champion. He would have had to go through Pacquiao to get that belt, or that belt would have left Top Rank and went to PBC. So it is extremely shady, the sport of boxing. It's extremely shady for these newcomers to back out of fights, to take contracts, and then say, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to risk it. It's extremely shady and cowardice, and it says a lot about their talent level, and it says a lot about how much they fear losing. You know, this is going to be the lost generation. Actually, I might change the name of this video to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fear Pacquiao. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, the lost generation that fear Pacquiao. That's what I might name this video. But they're definitely going to be the lost generation, because if they don't challenge themselves, at least with within the new generation of boxing, like that, Crawford fights Spence, or Spence fights Thurman, or one of these guys got to fight each other. They either have to test themselves against the fighter, the greatest of their generation, or the last generation. Neither one of them seem to want to go up against the last generation, and neither one of them want to test each other with the best of this generation. So very cowardice, very chicken-like, very fearful from Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I give you guys no credit. This generation is horrible. This is the lost generation of boxing, because you refuse to risk that O. What y'all think about that? Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. It's your boy Cardinal Red, man, and we are out of here. Where we at, man? Just left the mall, man. I had to pick me up some more shoes. I got I bought some shoes yesterday, and I had to come back and get some more of them, man. They're so dope. All right, man, we out.